Hello everyone, welcome to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. As always, my name is Cutie, and we focus on Soulslikes, Roguelikes, Metroidvanias, and other adventurous speedruns. We recently added that catch-all a couple of weeks ago. So basically, if you think a game fits Perilous Paths, it now officially does. And we're going to lean into that over the next couple of weeks. Now today, we have a very exciting episode. We're celebrating an anniversary of A Link to the Past. I believe the North American release the anniversary was yesterday, was Sunday. So if you're looking at the schedule, we are going to have a 100% no major glitches run of A Link to the Past. It's going to be amazing. You're going to get to see everything that there is to see about the game. And then later on, we're going to have a run from Ghostrunner, or a run of Ghostrunner, sorry. But before we get to that, one thing I do want to shout out is this beautiful little artwork. Hopefully you all can see that. Now, we do have beautiful artwork for every show on Hotfix. We do it for our main events, for different things. This artwork is done by LLK, amazing artist, an amazing person. I love having everything that they do for us in terms of artwork for the shows, everything they do for the showrunners. I love having that up. So I want to make sure that LLK has a little bit of a shout out, a little bit of love before we get started here. But without further ado, like I mentioned, we've got A Link to the Past, the OG. It's hard to get any better than this when it comes to speedrunning. So let's go ahead and bring in our runner today, Yurok, and his commentators, secretly a Sliver, not to be confused with Silver, and B-Day. How are you three doing today?
Hey, Cutie, how's it going?
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
So like Cutie said, we're gonna play some A Link to the Past today. We're gonna try and do pretty much the entire game. We call it the 100% category. It's a bit of a misnomer, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah. If you guys are ready, we can go ahead and get started.
Yeah, if you want to give us a 3, 2, 1, we'll get into it, and then feel free after we get started, give some introductions, talk about what we can expect to see, which is hopefully pretty much everything. We'll just go from there.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, have fun.
Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. I am Bitey, and I'm joined by secretly Sliver. We're going to give you some commentary today on the run. We're all very knowledgeable runners of the game. We've been playing for quite a few years now. Myself and Sean, we all three of us, we specialize in the main category, NMG. But today we're going to be seeing a 100% run, so a little bit different. Adds probably in the regions of is around 20 minutes, I think, it adds to the run. So a little bit of extra content, more A Link to the Past. So yeah, welcome on in, everyone.
All right, so the first thing all of you noticed was probably the text is in Japanese. That is because we were playing on the Japanese 1.0 ROM. It'll give us a handful of glitches that we can execute, and we'll see most of the JP 1.0 exclusive glitches. I'll try to point them out when they happen here. And yeah, just 30 seconds of mashing, and then we go and check on our uncle and get our sword, and we just leave him behind. He's probably fine.
Yeah. We'll see him later, I'm pretty sure.
We do invite lots of questions. We love to answer questions in our community. We actually have a bot that is dedicated to sourcing all of the information that we have about this game. I have it on my left side chat here, so if there's any questions, feel free to ask, and we will answer as best we can to give you all the best information possible about what is happening in the run. So basically, go ahead, sorry.
Nice cards.
Yeah, this is the escape sequence. Everybody who's ever played A Link to the Past has gone through this sequence to go and hopefully save the princess. But this is a 100% run. But ironically, the first thing we're going to do is to skip an item. So there's a chest coming up here that has a boomerang inside. We don't want that boomerang. We just want to leave it here.
Yeah, the reason we do that is because later in the game, if we haven't collected this chest, the game will put the magical boomerang, or the red boomerang, in a chest in the Village of Outcasts. And because of the way the game works, it's easier for us to just collect that there, as opposed to go visit the Great Fairy in the waterfall. So, in the name of speed, we just say, nah, we don't need this, we're good.
I love how the very first thing you do in a 100% run is skip an item.
That's right.
Yeah, it's so good. In the normal NMG run, the place that we would go would has, if you get the boomerang now, it has 300 rupees in it, and that's actually what we utilize to get money for the flippers in the normal run. So in this run, that's one of the big differences, is going through the escape sequence and pretty much the first part of the game without the boomerang, and then going to that later on to get it. It's quite a bit of a difference, and nice to see. Nice ball and chain there. This ball and chain can be a little bit tricky, a little bit scary sometimes. Obviously, E-Rock top player makes it look easy, but sometimes it can go very wrong there, and it can be a little bit of a scary fight. We see that that's the first real boss of the game, so really nice, clean gameplay there, no issues.
Yeah, it's extra fun in 100% because in any percent you have the boomerang, and it makes it easier to just like kill the boss wherever and then grab the big key that he drops with the boomerang. But I had to maneuver him so that he was closer to the door, so it was faster to pick up the key from there and not have to waste time walking back over to the cell to rescue Zelda. So just a minor optimization that happens specifically in 100%. Oh, I'm just gonna walk super wide on that guy because he was being a jerk.
Yeah, you also noticed that we skipped the first chest in the game that we talked about. So you'll see that when you rescue the princess, the chest, we didn't get to talk about that. So when you pick up that chest then becomes the lamp. So the game really wants you to have the lamp. So it's hard to skip.
It gives us three places. If you don't have the lamp, you can't push this mantelpiece.
Yeah. It's too dark. Zelda gets scared without
It's
the
scary in here. It's scary in here even with the lamp.
And there has been situations where we've had races and people have forgot to get the lamp and they've gone to the mantle and it doesn't move, and it's very, very bad. Very rare, but it has happened. I have absolutely done that myself, embarrassingly enough.
I've also gotten the princess one time, so hopefully that's the last time.
There'll be a few reminders. You might hear me out randomly in the middle of a conversation. I'm not interrupting. I'm just making sure that we have a few reminders. When we do tons and tons of different categories in this game, we build up a lot of muscle memory. So there are a few spots that we want to make sure that E-Rock is reminded to grab an item. So if you hear me getting excited, that's what I'm shouting about. I also like to get excited too, so I might be getting excited for other reasons. So
yeah, we're not trying to do a 98% run here. There's a couple of hard pieces that are easy to forget if I'm misremembering what it is that I'm trying to do or thinking about the 80% route or something like that.
So this is the first item here that is skippable in NMG run. It is what we call the snack cart chest. It's about a 3 to 4 second time loss in a run. Obviously, in 100%, we want to get this, but it is something that if you're not thinking about it, you might just walk on by. So this is probably one of the first or second items that can trip people up.
It's funny that it's only like higher level runners that have gotten used to skipping St. Cart and NMG. They'll like fire up 100% run and get halfway through Eastern Palace and be like, oh, what am I doing? Like, why did I forget that?
Yeah, it's definitely probably the most popular safety item that people do in any percent, and it really doesn't cost that much time, but the amount of safety that it gives you, especially in the first third of the game, is huge.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now that we've beaten the escape, we are making our way to the first, like, real dungeon, quote-unquote real dungeon of the game. Oh, hello. Which is Eastern Palace. Located, as its name implies, over here on the eastern side of the world.
Yeah, so what we have to do here is beat this dungeon and then go visit our buddy, the village elder, so we can get the Pegasus boots, or I believe it's in the English version, it actually says the Pegasus shoes, but we call it the boots because they're shaped like
Pegasus
boots.
shoes. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, you may have noticed a little bit earlier on this screen, I stopped to pick up a rupee, and that was intentional because there's a fairly tight rupee route in this run. We need 930 rupees to collect all of the items, and we need at least 10 before we get to the end of the light world. And so that blue rupee that Octorok dropped was a nice bonus, so I just went ahead and grabbed it.
Yeah, so if you're at least a bit familiar with the game, you know that Yorok just skipped 2 chests here. And that kind of goes into the 100% kind of being a misnomer. This is 100% item collection, so we're not dealing with maps, we're not dealing with compasses. We don't need to get extraneous keys.
That was the third chest that we don't need.
Yeah, and there are just some things that are just like ammo items that we don't need to pick up those chests either.
Yeah, there actually is a category that gets all the dungeon items, all of the maps, all of the compasses. I think we get all the big keys anyway, but like even if we could skip them, we would have to get them in that category. I think it's called, its official name is something like 100% something else, like full completion or something, but we all call it 101%. The main reason no one runs that category is because it also includes getting the luck fairy upgrades for your like bomb capacity and air capacity, and nobody wants to go farm 1,400 extra rupees in order to do that. So we just don't.
About this room there, just doing a damage boost there if you didn't notice. So taking a little bit of damage off of the sprite there, which gives you iframes, and with those iframes you can walk through the anti-fairy, lift up the pod and get onto the switch to activate that chest there. So if you blink you miss it, but I wanted to point that out because it's probably one of the first cool tricks in the first half of the run. Saves a lot of time. Otherwise you have to kill all the enemies in the room.
Yeah, so iframe stands for invincibility frames. Every time Link takes damage, he goes into an invincible state for about 30 frames. I think it might be 31. This game runs at 60 frames per second, so whenever you hear us say the word frame, that means 1/60th of a second.
Yeah, our top runners measure everything by frames. I measure my life by frames sometimes because I'm so used to measuring things. But yeah, so we squabble over 5 frames sometimes, then, we'll have, debates for an hour about 5 frames. That's a common thing in our community.
Oh, we got it. Let's go.
Whoa, that was so good.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet for the boss here, but then I'm going to talk about that.
All right, very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, that was super, amazing backup. That's not how we usually do that double outdoor screen, but that just shows the reaction speed and ability to deal with something when it goes wrong. If that eye shuts again, I think it's about 5 to 7 seconds of time loss. So you really want to get that Igor. So that was fantastic to be able to react to that, realize what had happened, and then still get the kill. That was really, really cool.
All right, so now we get now the speedrun truly begins, as we say in the community, because these boots will up our movement speed by about 2.5 times at the cost of charging for half a second every time you use them. So that's pretty cool. But the cooler part is that we're gonna take the gift that the elder gave us and we're gonna rob him. So we're just gonna go back into his closet and see what kind of goodies he has for us back here.
I never really thought, a nice chester.
That's the only one I'm gonna. No, there'll be another one that I try and do, but that's the only one.
Gesterns are a thing in our community that it's like swaggy. They can save 1 frame, I think it is, and basically you're pushing A and then turning Link the other direction as the cutscene's coming up, and it's kind of one of those things that if you mess it up you can lose a ton of time, but if you get it, you're the coolest person ever. So
all right.
So I was talking about 1.0 only glitches before, and you just saw one of them. It's called spin speed. Basically what happens is you charge a spin attack, and while you're holding right before you release, you hit the boots, and then you release your spin attack 1 frame later. And then that will put Link into a state where he always goes 4 pixels per frame, just like you're using the boots, but you don't have to charge it, and you can go around corners and stuff.
we just did another one with like a delayed setup where I did the spin, but then I had to like walk onto a staircase to activate it. And then here's another one.
Yeah, this is a. Go ahead, sorry.
You'll see that a few more times, and yeah, it makes Link go zoom, which is fun for speedrunning.
It's also one of the most satisfying tricks to pull off, which is part of what makes this game such a joy to run, really, or play rando. You know, however you want to enjoy the Link to the Past experience. This game is great.
My next reminder, I got bonk rocks on my reminder list for the next one.
Okay.
As long as you remember the ledge harpy.
I got it.
All right. Well, I'll remind you again closer to it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're coming to Desert Palace now. Now that we have a book, we can sing some. I'm not entirely sure what the lore is here. We sing a song and it causes the Desert Palace to open.
It says to offer your prayer to the gods, because this in Japanese is called Triforce of the Gods, which I think is a better title, but maybe I'm in the minority on that.
Don't go in there.
Nope.
I don't know why I turned. I don't know why I turned all of a sudden, but sure.
Yeah, I think that door sucks you in if you move one pixel into it, and it means you can't turn. I think is what happens there.
Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, I think
there's some weird mechanics in this game. Yeah, for sure. Like over the course of however many years people have been speedrunning it, we've uncovered all sorts of strange and wonderful mechanics.
And it never stops happening. Like, we've all been playing 4, 5, 6 years, and like even now, like you run into things you're like, whoa, I've never seen that before. Like every time you watch this game, it's
yeah, about every other day we get some posting to the Discord, hey, has anybody ever seen this before? And it's a couple people chime up to, yeah, maybe it happened once.
never seen that before. Like every time you watch this game, it's
all right. So we just picked up the glove, which is the first lift upgrade in the game. It lets us pick up rocks. And now we're making our way to the back of the dungeon, which is outside.
And you're gonna go south.
I am gonna go south. I need to go over here to this ledge and pick up this heart piece. Just hiding out. Right. This is one of the heart pieces that's easy to forget.
Thank you.
Ooh, that was a good menu buffer right there.
Yeah, some of the things that we'll see in this run is the use of menus. Menus are very, very powerful in this game. They can be used to read RNG, read pixels, and it's something that we learned to use a lot of in the game. So we got that heart piece right. Sorry,
I did.
Yeah,
yes.
We got it.
All right, I'm gonna grab the extra arrow pot here.
Yeah, and now we go on to probably simultaneously one of the most fun and most frustrating boss fights in this entire run. That's the land mollas. Unfortunately, we don't really have things that hurt them very effectively, except for the bow, and they all move, so we need to shoot a moving target 12 times. So, good luck.
It's a really fun fight.
Good luck.
Oh, almost got the 3 cycle.
Almost saved the 3.
Yeah, you will notice that we'll have some silence a lot during boss fights. Boss fights, there's a lot of stuff going on, and so we'll probably be silenced for things like tricks, maybe some hovers and some stuff like that. So if you hear some silence, that's what it is, just allowing a runner to concentrate.
All right. So that's 2 dungeons down. What was that?
You saw you menued bombs there during the fight. That's one of the more recent discoveries is that while that pendant is falling, normally the menu takes 1 second to scroll down and up. But if you do the menu while the pendant is falling, the pendant will fall while you're menuing, and it makes the menu free.
The dash out's faster there. That makes sense.
I got the pixel boost, so we just nudged our way out the door too.
Hate to butt in here, but we do have a nice little hype train going on in chat. And I do want to remind people that your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and your bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. I see you're all already doing that. So if you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays. Thank you to everyone who is already doing that. And if you feel so inclined, a hype train is as good a time as any to get on there.
All right. And what you're seeing right now, as Yurok heads to the Bonk Rocks, what you just saw there was another one of the Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitches called flippers. Basically, you get to the pixel before a screen transition, jump in the water, and then transition before the game tells you, hey, you don't have the flippers, you can't swim. And then it just assumes that you can swim. So we get a little bit of a time save there.
Pickle, please.
Sorry, I just correct my sub in there. There you go, have a sub.
No.
Sub.
Oh, no.
I was trying to manipulate that bird to hit me as soon as I had picked up the rock, because it just saves a little bit of time having to throw it. Unfortunately, I was too slow.
Yeah, it's a really cool trick.
All right, this old man is lost. He lost his lamp, so we're just gonna escort him through, and he'll give us a little mirror that'll help us on our quest.
Yep. Unfortunately, we have to walk. He's a little slow.
Yeah, he can't keep up if you're dashing. Actually, dashing is slower than walking marginally. So.
Okay, we have to talk about these dead rocks. These dead rocks, I've called them all sorts of names that I'm not going to repeat right now, but they have basically the power to end any run in an instant. When you slash them, I think they go solid for around 7 to it might even be 9 seconds, and they just sit there. And if you slash one in your way and you cannot move, it's bad. So they are known as one of the worst items or worst sprites in the game by far. So,
all right, so we're gonna do a trick.
Any dead rock blocks
here called a bomb jump, and if there's any, we're doing a known setup that gets us across this gap right there. Just a little quick optimization.
We're gonna see a few more of those throughout the run, but yeah, basically we're just taking advantage of the knockback that taking damage provides us to get across pits.
I think that was a quick warp.
I think that's particularly a strange one because of how far it is.
Yeah, I actually have to bomb jump myself onto the wall there. And then, because I'm technically, clipped into the wall by, a pixel or two, it bounces me further. And so I actually land on the ledge instead of in the pit. That's a really weird one. That's why I did that weird setup where I grabbed the wall to, line up on the right pixel.
Nice use of the menu there to read the RNG of the Kadongo and the mini modem there.
All right, and now we have a coffee break. So,
that's right.
Just
using that last bomb also gives us a free menu to the lamp, which we need in the room after the next one. So it's just another one of those little minor optimizations that exists in the 100% run specifically, which is part of the reason that I like running this category. In addition to any percent, there's so much. Like Bitey said, there's just so much bonus content, but a lot of that content is actually a lot of fun, overworld movement and just other little minor strats that are just fun to do, in addition to collecting all of the extra items. So I am definitely a proponent of this speedrun, like the 100% speedrun specifically. Like if you're at all interested in playing A Link to the Past and you're looking to join our speedrun community, I definitely urge people to give 100%. Give it a shot and see if you don't like it as well. Oh, I wanted those arrows. Oops. Oh well.
I guess it's a good time to talk about prize packs. So the sprites in the game, there is 8 different prize packs that they drop. Us being speedrunners, we know the order that it's going to drop, but we don't know the consistency that it's going to drop, because the drops, we'll talk about this bomb jump first. So we'll see this quick bomb jump here. It's going to bomb jump across the pit. And then back to the prize pack there. So they drop at a 50% rate. And there is a whole bunch of items that will drop: bombs, rupees, arrows, things like that. And we as speedrunners, we want things like arrows, bombs, and rupees. So we are actually tracking them as the run goes on. And when we get to a specific item in the prize pack, we're basically going to slash the sprite and try to collect the arrows, as you saw him try to do on the way out. But we'll have silence here.
All right. Just a quick boss fight here. Oh, come back here.
All right, very good.
Very nice.
Yeah, that guy's hard to deal with sometimes, and you see those pits all around, and the pit in the center of the arena there. If you fall down that pit, he gains all his health, and then you got to climb back up. So, it's very good job not getting knocked off there.
It can be a bit of a scary fight, but not too bad. All right, where's that dead rock at? Nope, we're good.
If you want to look.
During all of that, we actually skipped over an interesting, fairly recent find in the room, right after I did the bomb jump. Actually, let me get through this room real quick, because I have to count pits. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to bonk on that wall right there, because it sends me all the way back to the start of that room. Yes. All right. As I was saying, so after I did that bomb jump in Hera, there was a Kadongo shooting fire in my way, and I dashed all the way up next to the flames, and then I menued. And because I was dashing and had my sword out, we learned fairly recently, within the last couple of months, that holding your sword in those flames causes them to decrement a timer so that they despawn more quickly, and it also decrements that timer during the menu. So it basically I extinguished those flames by having my sword held out there, and I used that to get through a pretty ugly movement pattern from the Kadongo enemies there really quickly. But it's just another one of those arcane pieces of knowledge in this game. That's another one of those blink and you'll miss it sort of things. I just wanted to call that out because it was a recent find that we just discovered very recently.
Yeah, you also see there are steps up to that pedestal, but Link's arms are long enough that he can just reach out and grab the sword. No need to touch those stairs.
That's right. All right. We did say this is 100%, so we should collect all the things.
Yeah. So in an any percent speed run, normally you would see people pulling trees because honey grows on trees in Hyrule. That is not a thing in 100%. We'll be getting our money elsewhere, and we have enough money to pay the monkey to open the Palace of Darkness right now, so we don't need to worry about any rupee drops. But we'll start picking stuff up if it's on the way.
That's right.
It is kind of a cool concept with the tree rupees. Basically, if you kill one or two, depending on what sprites you kill, and depending if you take damage or not, depends how much money comes off the trees. It's kind of a cool thing in the game, and there's lots of them around. So we basically abuse the killing of sprites and not taking damage to spawn a bunch of rupees in a regular route. So kind of a cool mechanic of the game, I think.
So this dungeon coming up is Aghanim's Tower. This is where you face the big bad evil guy for the first time, and this is probably one of the more fun dungeons in the entire run. It's a lot of skill based stuff. There's not actually a lot of RNG in this portion of the run. So it's a really good showcase for your skills.
So here we're actually dashing through those guards. Might just look to you that we're just killing the guards, but we're actually doing a very specific thing where we beam, and then we dash right through the sprites. And the reason that we dash through the sprites is it preserves the prize pack, which I linked up in the chat there. And what we're trying to preserve is the fairy, because later on we want to use that fairy in a very scary dungeon, and it gives us 7 hearts back. So.
Yeah, part of that dungeon we intentionally take damage to go faster, and getting that fairy drop is nice for comfort and safety.
When we're cruising through these dungeons with green armor, we're getting 1 heart, half a heart. But when you get into the later parts of the game, all the enemies all the enemies start doing 4 hearts of damage. So 1, 2, 3 hits and you're dead. So that fairy really comes in handy.
That was a nice quick turn to block that arrow. Yeah, so this room actually works a little bit differently. Normally you would just kill the guy from the top and use the boomerang to grab the key, but we don't have a boomerang. We skipped it.
I'm glad you appreciated that one, Becky.
Yeah, I did. I'm not used to seeing that. I don't run too much 100%, but I'm very well acquainted with the game. But I haven't seen that for a little while, so it made me chuckle. It's actually really, really... There was a lot to unpack there. The card got caught in the pot, and he potted him, and he actually got the guard stuck in so the key didn't move, and he managed to pick the key up. There was actually just so much.
The keys got in the way and blocked one of the pot throws. There was a bunch going on there.
I've got
this is the evil wizard Aghanim. I'll let Bidey tell you how the wizard works.
Yeah, I'll put a couple of things in the chat here about how this works. But he basically has an energy ball attack and a blue ball attack. So it is a blue ball attack that you're seeing there. The first attack is always an energy ball, and then after that is a 50% chance that he'll give you an energy ball and a blue ball. We want the energy balls to spin him back. It is completely random, and then after the third one, you'll see that he goes to the top and he does a lightning cycle. The minimum that you can get is 0 blue balls, and the highest that you can get is 15. 15 is extremely rare. There's only one person that we know of who's actually had 15 blue balls, and he actually got it twice. And 14 is just as rare, and there's only one person that we know who's had that as well. So it's very, very rare that you get anything above sort of 12 or 13.
Yeah, I'll take 2.
That's very, very nice. 2 blue balls.
All right, we need a heart piece right here. This is another one of those things that it's like, please don't forget this in 100% run. There's a heart piece sitting over on the edge of the pyramid to the right, to Link's left.
Yeah, we were having a little laugh about the blue ball attack. I'm getting warmed by the Moobot.
All right.
It didn't take me long.
So we defeated the wizard Aghanim, and he decided to, he absconded to the dark world or something?
Yeah, he was too weak to keep his in the light world, so he grabs Link and pulls him to the dark world. Luckily, we got that moon pearl, so Link doesn't turn into a bunny. And then we go get this heart piece, and we're going over to Pot.
Oh, hello.
Listen again. Nope. I was trying to put in the percentages for all of the math nerds out there, but the bot did not like me and has timed me out, so. That happened last time, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, so the most likely 3 blue balls, which is about 50%. It might be a little less than that, but it's somewhere around 50% 3 blue balls. We got 2, which is very good because that makes sure that only one of the lightning cycles, and if you get 3 blue balls, that's where it starts an extra lightning cycle. Each blue ball and each lightning cycle, it costs about 6 seconds, and like we said, it's completely RNG. There's nothing really that you can do. to manipulate that.
A small geeky hop.
This game seeds RNGs on every. I don't think it's every scan line, but it's like faster than every frame. So humans cannot manipulate the RNG. Tasks can do it.
I think they only fairly recently figured out that they can do that.
Oh, someone please work out how to fix the zero. You'd save years of gameplay. Yeah, it's one of the big RNG points of the run. You know, you can have an amazing run and, you know, it gives you 10 blue balls and pretty much your run is on a lifeline, if not over right there and then after 30 minutes. So,
yeah, RNG, unfortunately, is probably the main reason that most people don't run this category. Uh-oh, hello. Get there. All right. The Baris don't like me today.
What is probably a very unique dungeon that it's a dungeon where we use the mirror a lot. There's no other dungeon where we do this. We basically go get an item, we mirror. We go get an item, we mirror. We go get an item, we mirror. We go get an item, we mirror. Like it's a lot of. There's no other dungeon where we really do that to this extent. So it's kind of unique in that way. You see this room 3 or 4 times. So.
All right, coming up, we have another one of those bomb jumps.
Yeah, but this one's a little special in that it's gonna clip us through an interior pipe. Normally, you're not allowed to clip through interior pipes in No Major Glitches speedrun, but this is the only one that's allowed. All right, perfect. Just hit the pixel forehead.
That's it.
So yeah, so that you actually need to drop the bomb on a certain pixel, and then you need to get to a different pixel after you drop the bomb, so that it blows you the right way, so that it clips you in. So it is a double pixel perfect trick, but there are a lot of pairs of pixels that work. But it is like once you drop the bomb, you gotta get on the perfect pixel, so it'll both boost you the right way.
Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay. Yeah, I actually got pretty lucky and was only 1 pixel off on the first one, and then I actually managed to land on it on the second one, so it was pretty fast.
A nice sexy statue there, taking advantage of the collision while moving diagonally to slide around the statue rather than having to let go of it and re-grab it.
Ooh, our arrow count is not good.
It's fine.
It's a very.
Remind me to get them in Skullwoods, because we'll probably forget after the break.
Yeah, I was just going to answer your question there, 10 second. Minor, so we have no major glitches, then we have restricted major glitches, and we have major glitches. And they do have a kind of a defined rule set, but there are some rule or some tricks like the hammer amp that were kind of grandfathered in. You know, if it had been found today, it may not have been allowed, that sort of stuff. So it kind of is a trick by trick basis, and some do cross the line, but we do kind of have, for the most part, of a rule set that, you know, each of the tricks fall into. The major glitches in this game
Key dash, let's go.
Absolutely crazy. Some of the glitches you do in this are just mad. They're nuts.
Oops. All right, not too bad.
Fantastic.
So we're utilizing
a couple of hammers there, but it's all right.
Utilizing another trick there, the spin speed, which you've seen already, but we're using the spin speed here for another reason. So someone found out, I think, was it Yuzu, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that if you activate spin speed state in the boss fight, it actually increases your north hammer hitbox. So it makes Helma easier to hit. We used to hold our sword out and we do some janky movement to get the hammer to hit him. We found this, it extends the hitbox by quite a bit, and it made the fight 10 times easier. So this used to be a little bit of a scarier fight, and now for most, I mean, still is, but it's a lot easier than it used to be to do it optimally. So
yeah, you can get away with phase taking a lot of a lot of shenanigans that Helmosaur King throws at you when you have a bigger hitbox that you can use to attack him with. So, like, I'm very bad at doing the old strat. Like, when I started playing this game, I started playing this game after it was discovered, and I've only barely learned how to do the old strat.
Yeah, so here's where we're going to deviate a lot from the any percent run. So far, we've only like gone out of our way for a couple bits and bobs. But now we're starting our chores, and first thing we need to do is go shake someone down for some money. So we're gonna go bomb open somebody's house and ask for money.
It's actually a really fun strat. So here's another thing called an item dash, which is similar to spin speed, where you activate an item and then dash at the same time. We'll do that a couple times during the run.
Yeah, this is a little deviation from the NMG run right here.
So this is the money that we pick up in lieu of the one that's been replaced by the boomerang. And then we get to do this dash right here, which is so fun.
Ha! Yeah, let's go.
Oops. Uh-oh, Zero, go away.
Yeah, those zeros hurt. They do two hearts on every hit, and they really like to hover around where Link is. So.
Oh, the lag!
Yeah.
The lag is feeding A Link to the Past.
Shoutouts to Requiem. I grabbed the tree.
Yeah,
right, we're
grabbing the stump there spawns your shield and makes the text run faster.
We think.
We think there's a bit of debate about it.
All right, I'm doing this screen in a such a way that like that mirror portal cancels the whole animation there. So just another minor optimization that only is useful in 100% because in any percent we stay in the light world.
Yeah, so normally you would have to wait until the end of that cutscene so that the animals all run away and the flute boy disappears. But since we landed quote unquote frame perfectly onto the portal, we get back before the cutscene starts.
All right.
We're getting close.
This right here. Yeah, this right here is the kind of like
Digging
do or
game.
die for the run. The digging game, everyone's favorite mini game.
So this is a huge gatekeeper. So this game, how this game works is you have to dig holes. There's a heart piece somewhere in here. After you dig 25 holes, each subsequent dig has, I believe, a 3 out of 8 chance to spawn the heart piece. But as anybody who has ever played a game with probability knows, that is far from a guarantee. You can usually get, I think 36 digs is a good dig game. I've seen people get up to like 39 in here before. But yeah, it's a really huge gatekeeper for this run specifically, and honestly puts off a lot of people from running this category.
I'm gonna grab that money because it's useful.
We will invite the GDQ staff in if they want to make any announcements at this time. This is a good place to jump in.
Absolutely, always happy to make announcements. A reminder to everyone that Summer Games Done Quick 2025 will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th to 13th, and you can actually register to attend the event by May 16th. So use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more information. And a reminder that we have more events than just the main line year-round. Actually, over the past weekend, we had Oops, You Died Too, which featured quite a bit of Soulsborne gameplay. As you know, for Perilous Paths, I love my Souls runs. Personal favorite, Hitless Dark Souls 2 on a saxophone. Yes, that did happen, and I will not spoil if it was actually hitless. But if you missed any of that content, reminder that you can always go to our YouTube channel to check out any VODs, any events, or anything that you may have missed. So always go to youtube.com/gamesdonequick to check out anything that's there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're in the future and it's a couple weeks from now, dig around in there. There's some good stuff for you to see.
Nice. We actually got it second try, which is great. This screen right here is a strat that I developed. Hopefully I get it. We're going to use a spin speed into a damage boost into some iframe manips to get past that red guard right there. I didn't do it quite right, but kind of gave you the general idea. We also did the race game. which was just another, just another fetch quest, find another heart piece, do another thing. This segment is absolutely full of them. Grab a bottle from the back of the tavern, show it to this sick boy here. He's gonna give us his bug net for reasons. And we can use this to catch fairies.
I believe the lore behind that is that the air wafting off of the mountain from the portal that opened in the Dark World is making him sick, and he can't do his favorite hobby, which is bug catching. So since Link has a bottle, he asks Link to go and catch bugs for him and bring him back.
We're not going to do any of that, sorry. But thanks for the bug net.
That's slow. But yeah, thanks for the item.
I almost went to Death Mountain.
So we're turning in our mushroom to the witch. I always thought it was interesting that there was a witch in this game, but there's a witch in this game. And then you give her the mushroom, and she makes you a magic powder bag, which you can use for a few different things in this run. Turn sprites into weird things, but one of the main uses that we're going to get out of it is powdering the anti-fairies. The anti-fairies are the cross-like sprites that you'll see bouncing all over the place in dungeons. And if you powder them, they will spawn a fairy. And you can put the fairy in the bottle with the bug net that we just caught. And what happens is, if you die, instead of getting a game over, the fairy brings you back to life. So it's a pretty powerful tool. And usually when you start off speedrunning, newer speedrunners will tend to use those as safeties until you get further down the line and you start dropping them. So
yeah, we're actually going to grab a fairy in the next dungeon just as a safety. But that's also a pretty fun strat, for me at least. Another spin speed. Go over here, dive into the well, go pick up some more stuff.
I can't remember how...
Nice menu.
Do we remember how many more items we get in the 100% route versus the NMG route?
It's about 40.
About 40? Yeah. A ton of rupee farming as well.
Yeah, stuff's expensive. Zora's a little greedy. It's cost 500
Yes.
for those flippers.
Absolute madness. Yeah.
I'm a little light on money, but that's okay. There's backups later in the run.
We always laugh about going to Zora to pay $500 for the flipper, but the dwarf charged you 10 for a sword upgrade. Like, it's the market's a bit weird in Hyrule.
All right. Now the other big RNG section of the run, which is doing the chest game.
All right, here we go.
So you get to open 2 chests per attempt, and I believe both of them have the same 3 out of 8 or 3 out of 16 chance. I don't remember which one it is, but it's unlikely that you're going to get stuck in here for too long. But as I said, probabilities be probabilities.
While we're in here, I'm going to just go give you a little bit of background about the runner. I had some questions for Europe before the run. How long have you been speedrunning A Link to the Past? Answer, 4 years. Started around this time in 2021. That's when you started playing the game. We got the heart piece right there.
We did.
Let's go. All right, well, we'll answer some more questions later.
Right. And here's why we skipped the boomerang in Hyrule Castle, so that this boomerang will be here.
Yep. Oh, I tried to fix it and then I messed it up. That's fine. We're fairly healthy. Don't let me forget the fairy on backtracking.
Yep. Right here.
So this is Thieves Town. It's another one that's got some little bits of RNG, like you saw the red Zazak kind of move to the left there, and we had to take some evasive maneuvers. But by and large, this is mostly another one of those high skill dungeons. Things can go wrong in a hurry, but knowing how to deal with it is paramount here.
Yes, this is another quite unique dungeon in the way that I'm not going to spoil the surprise just yet, but the way that we basically have to find the boss and stuff is quite cool. It's a little bit different than other dungeons. It's a little bit of a puzzle, so...
Yeah, this is canonically the 4th dungeon in the Dark World. The reason we come here is because the dungeon prize that it gives us is the Titan's Mitt, which is very useful for going and finding our sword upgrade early. And so, because this game is sort of like the precursor to open world exploration games, we just go ahead and do the 4th dungeon as early as we have access to it. And then, hang on a second. Oh, yikes. Sure. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Luckily we have about 3 extra hearts.
Yes. Fine. All right. Hopefully I don't accidentally pick this fairy up. I would really like to just have it. All right, so check this out. Jump down here. Got a fairy. Let's
Fantastic.
go.
Yeah, very nice. Haven't seen that before.
And then I use that menu there to read what was going to happen in that room, because that Zazek also does 2 hearts of damage, so I didn't want to take any hits there.
We're just backtracking a little bit, so we kind of brushed past a little bit, but you'll see that we went down, or we went up, I guess, to the floor, and we put a bomb on the floor, and we blew up the floor. And that's going to be very important later on. I won't spoil this surprise, but everything we do in this dungeon is for a very specific reason, and you can get people stuck casually wondering what to do. So we a minute here.
We found one of the maidens that has been kidnapped in the cell, and so we're trying to rescue her.
Yeah. So Zelda told us at the beginning of the game that six of her somewhat nuclear family have been kidnapped by the evil wizard that took over the world, and this is one of them. And I'm sure nothing bad could happen if you just stand her in the light there.
You were saying?
Well, I guess I've never played this game before.
So yeah, sometimes what will happen is you might find the maiden and you might not know about that room, or to throw a bomb in there, and basically this little light patch in the center of the room isn't there. So you get here, you finish the dungeon, you get in, nothing happens, and you're like, how do I finish this dungeon? And so it can get people stuck if you don't know what to do. So I remember as a kid, it took me a few tries to work out how to finish it, but there's also a scripted fight, so just as a tidbit.
Yeah. There are some hints around the world that kind of push you in the right direction, but it's a little odd. It's one of those retro game things where you're just supposed to poke and prod everything until something works.
Go to see house.
Yep.
So we're going to the sea house, and for the longest time I thought, why are they saying this is a sea house? It's by the sea? No, it's just shaped like the letter C.
There's a few rooms in this game that are like that. Most of them are nice palace. We have H room and U room, and iced tea.
Thought we were gonna get a muffin stash there, but
no.
Unfortunately, we need all of those frames.
I don't condone such shenanigans in a speedrun. Oh, we got an extra rock pole, though. That's fine. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more item collection here. We're taking this this frog over here. Oh, we're gonna return to the light world in just a minute, but first we have to solve this puzzle. And by solve puzzle, I mean knock down a bunch of hammer pegs.
Yeah, this is probably one of the one of the easier things that you can do, and probably one of the most satisfying. Anybody who's learning this game for the first time, I highly, highly recommend, if you're learning item dashing, to just do hammer pegs over and over again.
2 blue balls, each.
Yeah, we had pretty good RNG through this run. 2-2-3 so far. Not bad.
Yeah, really, really good. So we're dropping off this dwarf here. He's basically saying, hey, thanks for dropping me off. And then you go back and see him, and he's like, hey, I'll give you a better sword for 10 rupees. A whole 10.
We need a lot of money.
But yeah, we'll just leave the sword there for now and pick up this this chest that has the key locked inside. I don't think it ever explains how Link knows that the key is locked inside. It just kind of says that it is. And now we'll take it with us to visit this guy. Hopefully he doesn't put any sort of curse on us.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about this run is the better the RNG you get, the less money that you have potential to collect. So, whilst you're hoping for a great RNG, it actually has an effect on the rupee route. So,
yeah, the way that the prizes work for the RNG heart pieces, that you tend to just accumulate extra money. So
this purple chest has some interesting mechanics as well. You don't really see too much of the cool mechanics in NMG, but in the random community, there's some really cool stuff you can do with the chest.
The distinction between major and a minor glitch is usually just somebody finds something and asks the community, do we think this is major or it's minor? And we put it on a list. There's a list of allowed glitches and no major glitches, and if it's not on the list, it's not allowed.
Oh, we got the fast flute. Let's
Nice.
go. That's just a fun little trick where we do the flute ahead of finishing the text box. It saves what, like 2 frames?
We're just talking about how we love 2 frames here and there.
That's right.
All their frames are counting. So now we have done a bunch of item collecting. We're off to Skullwoods. And again, another unique dungeon in the fact that there's basically a whole bunch of drop downs and connectors and mouthpieces, and they're all parts of the dungeon. So you have to kind of go out and in and out and in the dungeon to finish it. It's kind of a really, really cool dungeon, and again, quite unique to the game. So
this mummy room is one of the points in any category that goes through it. Luckily, it didn't get too bad. Had to slash the mummies, but I got through unscathed. Well,
reasonably.
Until we hugged the pipe and hugged it.
Yeah,
spike,
you know,
it's fine.
that's fine.
I'm going to grab the arrows when you're here.
I was going to get the ones before the boss. Oh, stay there.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill that guy because I'm afraid of him. So we're doing another bomb jump. Just another bit of intentional damage. Oh, nice rupee drop. We need that.
Yeah. And this is the biggest. This is an interesting thing here too, is because he fell in that pit. It's not the fastest way to get out of that room, but by falling in that pit, you get invincibility frames, and you can use those invincibility frames to go through that ropa.
It makes it the fastest way to like navigate that room and the next one.
Yes.
Whoops. I'm sorry, Fricker.
Oh no! A little bit of
in community humor.
It's actually faster to walk out there, and in one of the tutorials that one of our runners made, Fricker, Moogle and Greenham, they have a tutorial where he basically says kindly that you should never dash out of there, or I will basically destroy your car or something like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh boy. Okay.
I think we'll be fine. Kill that guy. This room is all sorts of fun.
Yeah, luckily that mummy's on a script. The other ones aren't necessarily on a script, but that mummy will always do the same thing every time. And now we go into one of the stickier bosses here.
I'm just gonna go over here and wait for him to decide to not be
There we go.
a nuisance.
Yeah, so what happened there was, you can get in Moth's face and you can slash it, but if it hits any of those spikes, it's going to damage override to 0. So you have to be very careful about where you hit the Moth. And I believe it's about break time after we're done mashing through this cutscene.
Yeah, as you get to wherever the stopping point is, here at GDQ, we do like to take a break about every hour or so, just so that you at home and, of course, our runners and commentators have a chance to stand up, stretch, grab some water, head to the bathroom, whatever it is you need to do. Take a little break. Make sure you look after yourself. Wellness goes a very long way. I'm not quite sure where the official break stopping point will be, so I'll just keep talking. But
It'll be when I go to the menu right here.
Sort of. Right here.
Perfect. So with that, we'll go ahead and go to a break. We'll be a quick little 5 minutes. Everybody do what you need to do. Make sure you come back to see the rest of this incredible run. Your rockin' team is killing it. But we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tight. Hello everyone and welcome back to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. My name is Cutie and we are in the middle of a Link to the Past 100%, no major glitches. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, the North American anniversary for this game was actually yesterday. So we want to make sure we see everything, and your Rock is killing it. He's showing us all the things. This is not all the things, by the way, but just for today's episode, we're doing all the things. But let's go ahead and kick back into it. So give us a 3, 2, 1 whenever you're ready, and we'll just get right back in.
All right, yeah, we can do that. We'll just go ahead and go with 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Oh, I needed to be on mirror. I did it the wrong way around.
Yep, we're gonna go get a couple more things here before going to the next dungeon. We're gonna go get the Quake Medallion, and then we're gonna get the Zora's Flippers, which we need to swim to the next dungeon, and there's a heart piece up there too that we need to not forget. Oh, I was supposed to put 3 exclamation points after that, but it's fine.
I put 3 exclamation points because it's absolutely the worst thing to forget in this speedrun, and it's one of the easier ones if you're playing a lot of any percent.
Yeah, and you can see how much time we're taking, like running up here, and if you forget this to do this trip again, and that's backbreaking.
It's no good. But
that little dash there is what we call lottery dash. We call it lottery dash because it's a coin flip, and if it goes wrong, it can literally end your run. It's very rare that happens. Usually what happens is you get a couple of hearts of damage, but it can actually knock you into the ledge and right out of bounds and soft lock the game. So
I skipped it.
yeah, so he skipped it.
All right.
It's very, very rare that it knocks you all the way out of bounds, but
you'd hate for that to happen during a speedrun.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, wow.
You
we
guys
are really short on cash here, aren't we?
No, we need about 46?
We're good.
Which is fine.
We just need
to get one more extra rupee that I haven't accounted for yet. We should be fine. You may have noticed when we got the Quake Medallion that I didn't throw the rock into the ring of other rocks, and that was intentional, because the collision for detecting if you've thrown the rock in the correct place is actually just a giant square, so it kind of extends outside of the ring of stones, and so I was able to I saved a small amount of time by cheating, and we call that quick fish. All right, I didn't forget the most important heart piece in the entire run. We are also on the correct number.
Hey, let's go.
So we're good to go.
Yeah, so the hitboxes here are boxes, and like you saw, normally you're only able to walk on the light water, but Yurok was just dashing over the dark water, and that just comes from trying to draw circles with you get a little bit of extra leeway. Ooh, that crab
that crab was... I was nervous about that crab, so I just let that dash go because I wasn't trying to get hit by him.
did see someone in chat asking for information about our Juneteenth event, so I do want to let everyone know that Black in a Flash is returning with an event for Juneteenth from June 20th to 22nd, and you can learn how to join the Black in a Flash community and submit your runs by visiting gdq.gg/BAF. And since somebody already put the exclamation mark in the chat, but you can also do exclamation mark Juneteenth for all of that information.
It sounds fantastic. Yeah. So one thing that we forgot to mention at the top of the run is this is 100% no major glitches, but this is also a no save and quit category, which means that you cannot use the save and quit function for any reason whatsoever. You're also not allowed to die in a way that will get you somewhere faster. If you die, your run's still alive, but you can't say take an overworld death so that you intentionally spawn at Link's house. That's banned.
There's actually quite a lot going on in this dungeon. Ice Palace, again, unique for the ice physics portion of it, which we haven't really... We saw in the first couple of rooms. But basically, Link does some crazy stuff on ice mechanics, and can be very hard to control them. But you do also get some super crazy speed from it too. But that's kind of, every dungeon has its unique thing, and this is basically the unique thing for this dungeon is the ice physics, like right here, what you're about to see.
Nope. Almost. So with that bomb jump we just did a couple of rooms ago, we kind of broke the entire dungeon in half because the pegs are the wrong way, and that'll be important. Oh no, I was trying to clip through that rail.
So essentially, what you would have to do is you drop down to this room, and then you would go, a few rooms over, run all the way around. Grab the big key, come all the way back, and then go to this room to the right to hit the crystal switch to go all the way around again to come here, but that bomb jump nullifies all of that.
Yeah, it's one of the almost mandatory bomb jumps that you have to learn. I'll have silence for the boss here. Very nice.
Kinda got away from me. It's okay.
So yeah, it's kind of like one of the mandatory bomb jumps that I think almost everyone learns it, even beginners, because it just skips so much of the game. It's like a couple of minutes, if not more, 2-3 minutes that it saves. I could be out to lunch there, but it's a lot. So it's very much worth learning.
Yeah, if you're looking to speedrun this game, I would say that's probably about the first thing that you want to learn.
Cool, there's an interesting fight. It was another one of those blink if you miss it ones, but we basically have the timing down pat that first spin is going to spin all 3 puffs and keep them together. And then we're going to manipulate the puffs in a way that we're going to kill it in the corner before the puffs get time to spread. If you miss or you get ahead or something like that, we have what's called the puff party, where the puffs start bouncing all over the place, and yeah, it becomes quite a dangerous fight, but you're out there making it look real easy.
All right, so here, upcoming is one of the more difficult sections of the game. We do have a backup fairy, and we've maintained it throughout the game, so that's going to make this a little bit easier. We're just very unlikely to die here, and yeah, that little one hit makes this all the more difficult. Now there is some health that you can get in the circle of bushes coming up here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that just so I don't have to rely on the fairy and I can keep it for later.
So these bushes have a 50-50 chance of dropping whatever's in their prize pack, but then there's also a backup that you can powder the other 4 bushes for a fairy as well if you're really desperate. So this is Spike Cave. If you do it right, you take exactly 13 hearts of damage. And
we're good.
We did. We are perfect. Now this is the Cane of Myrna, so now we'll be able to arm spin speed and use that to get out.
So good. I love this. That's probably my favorite part of 100%.
It's one of the funnest screens in the entire run. It's also one of the most stressful screens in the entire run. Oh no, get out of here. Get out of here. What is all this RNG?
Oh, this is nonsense stuff right there.
To address a question in chat, yes, the blue mail is in the Ice Palace big chest, but we skipped that because we only require to have the maximum items in our slots. We skipped the red shield for the same reason, because we'll have a mirror shield at the end.
This is actually one of the spike there is actually quite a scary part of the run because of we have a fairy as a backup here, but
yeah, I just intentionally just walked around that dead rock because it could have killed me.
Yeah, you basically make yourself local. It can be quite scary, this part of the game.
Yeah, so in a normal speed run, you would not have that backup fairy, and if that dead rock hits you or that rock under the bush hits you, then that's game over. That's rip run. So good job getting through all that, and then we intentionally collected the heart pieces in a way that is a fourth heart piece and will refill our health for us.
Yeah,
the entire route is basically built around that specific art piece collection, to the point that, like, if anything changes, then I'm not really sure what happens to the route.
Because Mire is a dungeon that we intentionally take damage to make it faster. So if you don't have enough health, you basically have to...
Whoops.
You'll see, basically.
All right, good enough.
There's a key that we'll be getting that you need to have at least 4 hearts of damage to get the key. And then we intentionally take damage on the boss fight too. So you kind of need to have around, I think it's 9 hearts or something like that coming in. You get a heart along the way, and then you take 3 and then 6 for the boss. So it's about that. But basically, you need health in this dungeon to go fast, or you're going to lose a lot of time. So.
Yeah, even in that second room in the dungeon there, we make heavy use of sword beams, which only happen when Link is at full health. Got a little bit of a minor slip up in there, but cleaned it up.
The Ropo is very nice to me.
All right, this is another mini coffee break coming up. We gotta relight this 4th torch. We'll have a 17-second cutscene to stretch, crack knuckles, drink water, type one-handed in your chat.
We also, you may have noticed we shot the fire rod through the blocks as we pushed them. I think that's also a minor glitch that got patched out of later versions of the game. Maybe not. I don't remember.
It's not.
It's definitely unintended behavior.
Yeah, it's not on the wiki, so I think you can still do it.
Yeah, because even on the 1.2 version for GDO, that's one of the ways that people screw up the run is by hookshotting through the torch. So it would make me think that it's not patched out.
All right. Well, we got the big key, so we're just doing a little bit of backtracking here. Nope. Grab the rail for safety. Wow.
Oh!
Wow.
Hey, that's
I've never seen that happen before. There's our one.
So the route that Yurok just took there is what's known as a safe route, but like we said, some of the enemies here have RNG that can really mess you up in certain places. All right, and here's the intentional damage that we're taking, just so we can get this small key and get through the door. All right, and Spidey, can you enlighten us on what's happening in the spooky action at a distance?
Sure, I can try. So this was basically set from when we picked up the bird. So when we brought the bird in and it dropped us off at the number 6 location, we actually went to a very specific part underneath the pot. And as the bird is leaving the screen, it sets something called the altitude variable. And that altitude variable affects the item which we have in our hand called the fire rod. So you're going to see that the fire rod hits the spike, but above the spike is actually the crystal switch. And that's what you're seeing there again here. the fire rod is going to hit the anti-fairy and it's going to hit the switch above. And one more time here, the fire rod is going to hit this torch and it's actually activating the crystal switch on the top of the screen. Kind of really, really, really interesting, weird tech that I have no idea how they found it. In fact, I do actually know how they found it. I think somebody found it through like the Argus fight or something like that. But really, 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 really neat tech.
Yeah, basically what happens is the fire rod actually has two hitboxes. It has the regular hitbox that you see on the screen, and then it has a small little splash damage hitbox. And if our altitude variable is at the one we expect it to be at, that will go off the bottom of the screen and wrap around to the top. As a very, very nice textbook vitreous fight there.
Seeing that we're making use of the hearts, and 100%, we have about 20,000 hearts, so it's not really too scary of a fight. But in the regular NMG route, that fight there, often we come in here with 6 or 7 hearts, and you end up left with 1 or 2. So it's a lot. 100% is a little bit nicer in the fact that it gives you a lot more health, so it's a less scarier end game. So that's kind of one of the reasons, enticing reasons to come and actually run the category is it's not so brutal in the end game. So,
all right, I successfully managed to not skip this extra heart piece over here.
Yeah. So this is called Checkerboard Cave. Normally we have no reason to go over here, but there is a heart piece over here that we need. So.
We haven't done any mirror block deletions yet, but here's some.
That's a JP 1.0 exclusive glitch. We're gonna see a couple more before the next dungeon as well. Maybe only one more, but yeah. So basically, when you're spamming the mirror while you're pushing a block, it'll just delete it. Just gets rid of it.
There's a technical reason for it that like the game like tries to mirror transition and like forgets the block is there or something. I don't remember exactly, but just go with it. It doesn't.
Yeah, there's a whole paste bin that explains the mechanics behind the mirror block delete. And honestly, it's not really need to know information. It's more just like fun.
Yeah, this community is split into a bunch of people that push buttons and a bunch of people that are science nerds, and we work together to make tricks work. The explanation. We break the speedrun together.
Right, and now we got the Bombos medallion, which we will not be using, but we still need to have it.
Yep. It just gets in the way.
Yeah, it messes up your menus.
Yeah, it actually Go ahead.
I actually played a few runs of this category over the weekend, and it is impossible to menu in this category. There's too many things on the screen.
Bombos is the reason that we don't get Ice Rod until the very end, actually, because otherwise the menu in here in Swamp to the Hookshot is worse. Nope. All right, we're gonna go this way.
So something that wasn't apparent on the screen there, to do that block delete, you actually have to combine an item dash and the mirror block delete. So you're combining two different JP 1.0 exclusive glitches in order to go fast. It saves a couple of frames on the dash charge. Basically, while the block is being deleted, you're charging a dash.
Yeah, menu optimization is a big thing in this game, especially at 100% though, because you have like a gazillion more items, so your menus get slowly worse and worse as time goes on. Most of our menus are 1 or 2 moves in NMG. I'm not sure, I'm not very well versed in the menus in 100%, but it seems like there's a few 3, maybe 4 move menus in the later part of the run.
All right, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to take stock of resources for the rest of the run. I think I want both arrow chests in here because I don't really want to get the 10 arrow chest in GT.
What's your repeat count like for the route?
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me that I need to do. Yeah. I get to do the best hammer dash. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering what acid when you're getting that extra 20.
Yeah.
There you go, Bitey.
He'll get him. He'll get him.
Yo, let's go! The felt squeeze.
Oh, throw that.
Yeah. So Swamp is one of the more RNG heavy dungeons. You really have to figure out like how enemies move and like what can and will happen to you at some point, and figure out ways around it. And one of the things that we just shouted out there is called the Phelps squeeze. Bitey calls those little water skippers Phelps. Just because we call things silly things sometimes.
There is a silly backstory to that, so it is quite funny because it's absolutely silly on my part. But there's a screen that's very, very long that's coming up in a few screens here, and it's called Phelps Way. And I thought it was called Phelps Way because the sprites were called Phelps, and it's actually referencing Michael Phelps.
Nope.
So
there was some more bad RNG that Barry was in my way. He would have hit me out of my dash.
So from now on, we've called those things Phelps because I'm silly.
All right, we're gonna do 2 hammer dashes here. The first one saves time. The second one is because we need money.
The actual name of them is water tektites, if anyone wants to know. Not Phelps. Yeah, that's a cool hammer dash that gets us to our 100 that we need. We're going to be using that to buy a bomb later.
Yeah, I actually love this little sequence here. Getting the hook shot, and then there's a very specific set of movements that you have to do in order to get the hook shot, get to the island to grab the key to run all the way back around, and it's very, very satisfying to learn and to pull off.
Even right there, we're using something called a hook dash, so we're pushing Y and E on the same frame, and for whatever reason, it puts like into some weird state that allows them to pick up the pot while pushing the statue consistently. Like it's just
So
this game being this game.
It's the same thing as what extends your hammer hitbox upwards. It's just used in a different way. It's just extending your grab hitbox so that you can grab the pot over the statue.
I'm gonna grab that rupee just for safety. Just in case we mess up the bomb dupe and we have to go to a pipe cave for backup rupees. Nope. In my
This
way.
is Phelps Way, if anyone's wondering. Obviously, Phelps, Michael Phelps, not the actual sprites.
GL0 cycle.
Nope.
That's still pretty good. Again, using
No fire rod.
using a tech there. It's actually probably one of the hardest fights in the game to get. That is, we've got the 0 cycle. So what we're actually doing is we're holding B with one finger and we're pushing Y and A on the same frame whilst holding the B button down. So we're actually holding whilst pushing 2, and it's basically it puts we call it a hook speed
Yeah, hook dash is what I call it. It's a pretty technical fight. It was actually, people thought that it was TAS only because they thought that they had to do the hook dash every single time. And then somebody figured out that you only have to do it the first time, and then after that you can just hold your sword out with B and push Y to continually fire the hook shot and while keeping your sword out. So it became an RTA viable strat, and now everybody does it. Well, most everybody. But it is a lot of fun, even though it's really challenging to get it consistently.
You know, I reckon if it was still item dash every time, I reckon we'd be doing it by now. It'd be extremely difficult, but I'm pretty sure we'd be at the point where people would be trying it.
Probably. All right, we get to go on another shopping spree. We get a bit of a break between all of the dungeons here. This is one of the funnest segments of the entire run, if you like all the overworld sections.
Yeah, so we're just cleaning up all of the stuff that's not on Death Mountain right now, because we're going to eventually try to end the game up on Death Mountain. Our last 2 dungeons are up there. Just another thing that's not really obvious that Yurok did, he mirrored at a specific point that the way that this works is if you mirror at a spot in the dark world where there's something blocking you in the light world, it'll just bonk you back to the dark world. So what Yurok did was mirrored on a specific pixel in order to spawn on top of the bush, but also on top of the heart piece. So he collected the heart piece and then used the bush to bonk him back. So
that was a double quick warp mirror bonk, actually.
Yeah.
So that one was pretty cool.
So I guess we can explain quick warps too. So if you mirror on certain pixels, the animation for warping is 34 seconds shorter. And you just got 2 of those in a row, so that saves over a second.
Let me do this bomb dupe real quick, and then we can talk about it. Should be good.
Should be fine, yeah. Hey.
All right. That was one of the stressful things. I don't want to have to go back and find money to buy another bomb and do all that over again. So, should be smooth sailing from here on out.
Basically, you're grabbing the bomb and pushing Y on a specific frame when the counter pushes 0, and
yeah, I'm actually using the mirror to despawn the explosion sprite, and the game just forgets that I wasn't holding the bomb, and it gives it back to me. But it's because you're not allowed to like run while carrying the big bomb, and we just say, I don't need to worry about that. I'm a speedrunner, I do what I want.
Yeah, so here we're getting silver arrows and the gold sword, because we do need maximum upgrades in every slot. So this is the only fairy fountain that we have to go into, because the other fairy fountain only gives a red shield, which becomes obsolete in Turtle Rock, and a red boomerang, which we already have.
That's right. All right, so continuing our quest to like go find all the rest of the things scattered around the world of Hyrule. We're coming up to, we call it King's Tomb. Oh, that portal's a little too far to the left. That'll be okay though.
Yeah, there's nothing super dangerous here. It's just like bleeding time, doing slow strats.
And then Graveyard Ledge, we'll get another heart piece.
You GDQ want to jump in for a little announcement here before we hit the end game?
Me too. I did see a couple of people do ! Hotfix and ! Discord in chat. Just so you know, if you go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix, you can check out this season's entire lineup, and we do actually have a couple of newer shows, so make sure you check that out. And you can see our schedule for an in-depth look at each of the week's runs, so you can always see what's coming up, plan your week around it, make sure you have dinner ready, candlelight, whatever it is you want to do, make sure you plan around those. And if you want to join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more, use ! Discord in Twitch chat for more information and a link to joining it there.
All right. Those were an attempt at a couple more item dashes using our new cape. Because you can just item dash with basically everything in this game. Here's another one.
Yeah, you can mix a dash with any item. Some items are more worth it than others, but you can technically do item dashes with any item in your inventory. and they're all executed the same way. You just have to press Y and A on the same frame, which sounds simple, but it's not so much.
It's weirdly precise.
Is that a tap cancel for stair drag?
Yes.
Yep.
You can do that on every manual staircase. I almost forgot I need the flute. All right, we just have one more thing to collect. And that is the ice rod, which was told to us by Sahasrara at like early in the game, like after beating Eastern Palace.
Yeah, like right after he gives us the boots, he says there's a special item on Lake Hylia. However, there are those crabs that like to move kind of erratically, and they do 2 hearts of damage each. So it's kind of to disincentivize you from getting it too early. And this is just the fastest point in time that we can get it.
Nice 10 frames spin speed there. I saw that.
That's right. Gotta go fast. All right, so now we have everything. Hello.
Not quite yet, but...
Excuse me. No, dude.
Oh.
We'll just go do it again.
We were just talking about those earlier. If anyone was here earlier on, those dead rocks that we don't like very much, that was the...
There we go. I had to show off Waffle House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can actually... the dead rocks don't form into their rock phase right away, so you can actually hit them multiple times with the hook shot. I think you can hit them like 3 times, maybe 4 times with the hook shot before they go fully solid. So
you can keep doing it. There's a video of somebody hookshotting a dead rock all the way across the bridge to the ether tablet.
Oh, that's cool.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, please.
Yeah, you can see why we have a lot of hatred for these things. They have cost probably thousands of runs at this point to not PB. You can get you can basically get to, an hour into the run, and then you can get dead rocked twice in this.
You can even do an item dash with one of the medallions, which I did right here, and it gives me super speed off that little staircase right there.
Yeah, so the reason to do that is because when you're in super speed state, you will always jump off the ledge on the first frame that you touch it. So that's a good thing to take advantage of in certain spots.
All right, we're in Turtle Rock, which is the last of the regular dungeons, and in 100% we get to do a lot of fun extra things that you don't see in the any % speedrun. One of them is coming up in this next room. We get to use our fun little cape and just kind of make a mockery of this entire puzzle here of like trying to get through this extremely perilous room. And then we use a menu to cancel out of it.
So normally, if you don't have an invincibility item like that, you can just do a damage boost through the one roller to dash through the other roller. But here, I mean, you have all this stuff anyway. You might as well just make the room a lot easier. Probably faster too.
Ghostrunner is also very powerful. Usually in the usually in the regular run we have a tempered sword, and a lot of the things like the pole keys will end up having to do a spin attack, but this gold sword is supercharged. 2 slashes and they're dead. So it's nice to see that.
There may be strats in this next pokey that you can do. Am I grabbing this? Yeah, I'm grabbing this. But I probably just stick to any % strats here because that's what I know how to do.
Yeah, so the uniqueness about this dungeon is obviously the introduction of fire and pits and the use of the Kano Samaria, which usually you would need to get all the way through. There is a trick called hovering, which if you're an absolute mad person, you can hover all the way through the dungeon. But for the most part, the game wants you to have the Kano Samaria to get through here.
That was the fairy drop that we were talking about earlier. We had saved it all the way through the run to get it here in this dungeon. and it came in handy. All right, I need to go down after this room.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a route deviation from the main route. So in the main route, we would just basically go to the right and skip this item. But in this category, we want to get it. And it's a bit of a controversial item in the community. Big, massive shield.
I don't mind the mirror shield.
We have to get this. We have to get this heart piece here first. This is actually a fun room to try to optimize. There's a couple different strats that you can do. Yurok did kind of a classic one. There's another one that I've seen, but yeah, it's fun to like spend an hour or two in that room and just try to get the best time possible because you don't usually see it in %. So.
All right, let's see if I can get this key dash here.
Yeah, this is tighter than I remember it being. There we go.
Very nice. The key dashes work by aligning yourself on what we call the grid, using, like a rail or a pot or something that is basically designed on the grid. And when you do that and you dash through E North key door, you basically dash right through it. If not, you would basically bonk straight off of it.
Nudged a little too much there. That's okay.
You can key dash us on any door. It's not just north doors.
Every door except south doors. You can't. You can't key dash south.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw some east-west dashes in like Thieves Town and probably somewhere else.
That's right. That's right. There is one in Thieves Town. I'm trying to think where we use the west-east ones, but yeah, Thieves Town. That's right.
That's the main one, I think.
All right, onto Laser Bridge. Just gonna do something called Laser Skip there. So
we don't even need to worry about that. Having the mirror shield, just go fast.
Basically, you see that big long laser. Well, the box on that laser is only a 4-pixel square. So as long as you can make it past that 4-pixel square before you go down into its range, then you can just skip right past it. Yurok did a pretty cool laser skip there where he got to stab the beetle out of the way as well. And here's Trinex.
Whoop.
Might have saved it. Nope.
Nah. You can touch that spike while the heads are exploding and not take damage.
All right.
Not bad.
So
you try to do that in 100% without getting the extra attack there in the middle. We call that a 0 cycle, but I wasn't fast enough. Not worried about it though.
We do have one more heart piece to get before going to Ganon's Tower. We have to go through Hookshot Cave and mirror onto the floating islands.
Yes, we have been carefully collecting bombs to do that. We actually have one extra bomb from the minimum required optimal number. But I can dump one somewhere in Ganon's Tower when I don't need it anymore. I'll probably do that before the bombable floor.
And that's one thing that you might not, as a casual watcher or whatever, realize. We're really actively tracking everything that we're doing. We're tracking the rupees, we're tracking the bombs, we're tracking the arrows, and we're constantly trying to keep ourselves on very specific levels depending on what we get to basically optimize the run. So it's kind of a cool thing that it kind of might not go noticed by the naked eye.
Yeah, and it's by no means is it like required to have the perfect ammo at all times in the route. Like you can always just go ahead and get those extra ammo items if you really want. No one's gonna call the police on you.
All right, one more quick hop. skip through some Lionels because we have the gold sword.
All right, and now we have a cutscene.
Yeah, we have rescued all 7 maidens and gotten the ability to enter Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I think this is like by our powers combined, we open the door, something like that.
I mean, even this screen here, there's some shenanigans going on. Like, you basically don't want to have your sword out there because the sword causes more lag. Having Link touch the wall also causes lag, so we're actually cancelling the sword and coming off of the wall, and that speeds up the game. I think it's because of sprites, if the sword counts as an extra sprite. I'm not too knowledgeable on that, but...
Yeah, it's extra sprites on the screen, and it also has to deal with the flashing that Ganon's tower does. That also adds stuff to the screen.
Oh yeah, I have to do that first. Oh, excuse me.
Oh. Excuse me.
That way.
There we go. Yeah, so these 2 rooms here. This is a hundo only strat because you have the magic boomerang. You don't really get magic boomerang unless you have to. And it's a cool little thing to see. Usually we have a blue boomerang there, and we can do a little bit different stuff. But it's fun to see some alternate strats sometimes.
So to answer a question in chat there, why is it optimal to have less bombs than more? It's actually coming up right away here. You'll see it's going to dump a bomb, and what that does is it's going to give him a better menu. So when you drop a bomb, it will automatically go to the next item in the menu, and there's a couple of spots that comes into play. One is here, and one is also in the Ganon fight.
Yeah, we only need 2 more bombs, and we're going to get one right here. So you see that it automatically menued us to the powder. All right, we're going to do a blink and you miss it strat here, hopefully.
Oh, nice.
Close enough. All right, it should still be good on bats.
Really interesting thing that I always like to bring up about this. So this screen here is the Ice Armor screen. This is actually connected to the Ganon screen, the final boss of the game. And the bats, that the amount of times that you spend in that room with the Ice Armors affects the bat patterns in the Ganon fight, which we'll talk about later on. And it was a really interesting concept that was found quite a few years ago.
Yeah, verifiers use it to verify runs sometimes, because Ganon's bats and the Armos Knights both go in a circle, so they both use the same what's called I think it's called an arc variable. There's a couple other things in the game that use it too, but this, by killing the Armos in a way. By killing the Armos quickly, we put that variable on a known value so that we know where the bat is going to spawn every time. Alright, and we're going to start the GT Gauntlet. This can go a little sideways, so we'll let him do his thing here.
That's fine.
Yeah, this is one of the... Oh, very nice, RG. This is probably the hardest section of the game, I would say.
Yes.
Oh,
nice. Pixel perfect.
My goodness me. Wow. Okay, dude.
Wow.
That's disgusting.
That dash in between those spikes is pixel perfect, and you can only do it while dashing. You can't even walk between those spikes. So that was pretty hype.
All right, we made up for it by having a really terrible Gauntlet 5.
Yeah, a lot of these fights are very different in the 100% category because of having silver arrows. So this fight here, we would usually use the fire rod, but in 100% we're going to use the silver arrows. Same with the Ganon fight. The Ganon fight will change a little bit too. using Samaria damage here. There's 4 wizards going to spawn, so watch to the left. Boom, bang, whack, sword, done. 4 sprites down.
Love that screen.
Yeah, the Wizrobe 1 and 2 screens are probably the most satisfying ones to hit, and they're pretty simple. They're not exactly super hard. You just need to know what tile to put the block on and such.
One last item dash for good measure. Oh, hello.
Oh! Yeah, there was some game jank right there. You saw facing down, but the fire rod went to the right there. That's the jankiness that can happen with the D-pad input sometimes.
All right, buddy, are we hovering?
Yep. We're going to try.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I need the
key.
I was supposed to grab the key from the other room. Whoopsies. Oh, he's gonna be mean.
No!
That wasn't a real attempt. We'll give it another go.
All right, we'll try it again.
That is like the one thing that you can basically go wrong with hovering. It's not your fault.
Just a quick map check. Make sure we know where we are.
Yeah, make sure you know where we're going. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, this is an incredibly difficult trick.
I'll give it one more go.
Yeah, let's go for another one. Come on, you got it.
Excuse me. There we go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Easy game.
It is an extremely difficult trick. Even the top runners will fill that trick, and you're an hour and 10, 15 into the run, and if you fail it, that's pretty much your run is over. So it saves around 6 seconds or so, but if you fall, you lose around 15 to 16
Nice
seconds.
one.
That might have only been one hit, even though all 3 balls hit him.
Yeah, we're at 2 right now.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, this second Aghanim fight, he can be a bit of a jerk. He does get some invincibility frames.
Oh,
that was
those were also
one that got eaten. Yeah, so he does get a few invincibility frames after getting hit, and sometimes that's bad because you want the energy ball to hit really quickly, and unfortunately that is not how this is drawn up. All right, now all that's left to do is kill a big pig.
You get to see the bats that we were talking about earlier. So as he falls down, there's 4 phases to this fight. The first is 6 hits with the gold sword, and then after the 6 hits, he will go into phase 2, which is the bats. And the bats will go in and out. That part's always the same, but the part that changes is the way that the bats come at you. And it was actually used a long time ago. We didn't understand the bats, but when we did understand the bats, it was like Sean mentioned, it was a way to verify runs, and you can tell basically if someone was doing some dodgy stuff with a run based on how the bats were going to spawn. So it was kind of a really interesting find when it was found. It helped us understand a lot about the game, and now we're on to phase 3. Just gonna warp, and this is a 50% chance here that he will warp or not warp. This is another big RNG part of the run.
Oh, was that 0 warps?
It looks like
it was an even number.
warp.
Oh gosh, I almost messed everything up.
0 or 2 maybe? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy yapping.
Almost got a silverless hit there.
I don't know where he's at.
I lost track of him too. All right, that's the 4th arrow, maybe.
Oh goodness. There we go.
Okay, that's the 4th arrow.
Right.
There we go. We had 1 extra.
It is it.
GG's in chat for your rock.
Yeah, time will be when we go through the doorway here. Time.
GG's.
GG.
Well, as we watch this little cutscene here, why don't you tell all the wonderful people more about yourselves, where they can find you, where they can catch more of your content, if you're streaming, if you've got a YouTube, whatever it is, now's the chance to let the good people know.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can find me on my Twitch channel, XX. You'll find me speedrunning this game most days. Some flavor of predominantly glitchless categories. I'm thinking about branching out a little bit and maybe tackling some other games here soon. I did a community challenge not too long ago to do try things like Super Metroid, and even some like other childhood games of mine, like Little Nemo, the Dream Master. And those challenges got met, and I've been meaning to get around to them, but I mostly play Link to the Past, so you can find me there. I publish videos to YouTube, but it's not really like a content platform per se, but I think that's attached to my profile somewhere if you want to like go catch like old PB videos or something like that. That's it for me. Like I just mostly I'm just part of the speedrun community. I just enjoy hanging out with these people and playing this game. It's a lot of fun. Shout outs to GDQ for giving people in this community and the speedrun community in general a place to like share their love of these games.
It's our absolute pleasure to do so. Before we go to a break, B-Day, Secretly a Silver, or I did it again. Secretly a Sliver. I'm so sorry. Anywhere that you would like to talk about where they can find you, anything else?
Yeah, I'm at twitch.tv/secretly a sliver.
Sliver.
I run. Yes, Sliver.
Sorry, just make it really clear for everyone.
As in the Magic the Gathering monster, Sliver. Yeah, I mostly play Link to the Past or Link to the Past Randomizer. I'm trying to be better at putting whether it's rando or vanilla in a stream title. But you know, if you're not sure, just ask, and I will answer. Yeah, so I play vanilla, I play randomizer, and I'm also maybe trying to branch out a little bit with some other stuff, but we'll see what happens on that front. I've got a lot of balls in the air right now. So I also have a YouTube channel, but don't really actively post to it unless I have to. I'm not really a social media guy, so can't really find me anywhere else.
Yeah, my name's Bidey. Massive Link to the Past speedrunner. I pretty much have been playing this game for about 5 years. I'm actively trying to go for top 10, top 15 right now in the main category. I also run a restream channel, AOTTP Restreams, where we restream races both in the NMG community speedrunning, and we also do randomizer as well. We've seen quite a lot of growth in the channel this year, and Secretly Sliver is actually a big part of that. We run the channel together, and we're actually bringing on some more people hopefully this next couple of weeks. So that's kind of one of the big focuses that I'm kind of proud of that I've been working towards. But yeah, I'm like the other guys. I'm not a huge streamer. I upload stuff to YouTube and things like that, and I just do this for fun. So you can come see me on Twitch or. Yeah, and like I said, the community is awesome. Come and join the Discords. People are going to help you. It's a very welcoming community. We'd love to have you. So if you're a beginner, you want to come and learn, come and oversee us. We'll help you. We'll get you started on this awesome game. So thank you so much for having us today.
My absolute pleasure. Y'all being modest. Y'all killed it. This was incredible, and only you all could have showed us something this amazing, so I'm super glad that you were able to make it. We're going to take a quick few minutes breaks while we get set up for the next run. We're going to have Ghostrunner. If you're not familiar with this game is basically built from the ground up to be a speedrun game, much like Neon White or something similar. So I played this casually. I'm super excited to see what happens during the run, so don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. My name is Cutie, and we have an incredible run coming up. This is going to be Ghostrunner, any % classic inbounds with Sindorian. I'm super excited for this. I can't wait to see how he destroys this game because I've played it casually. This game is hard. It is no joke. It is hard. It is fun. I'm excited for this. Without further ado, Sindorian, how are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. I'm pretty good. I'm excited. This is going to be a blast. I cannot wait to, well, maybe not destroy the game, but let's move through it pretty fast.
You're being modest. You're going to destroy the game. Let's be real. You're going to destroy it. Cool.
We'll see.
If you want to give us like a quick intro about yourself, or if you want to give us a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and we can just get into it and go from there, whatever you're feeling.
Well, I've been speedrunning for about 5 years, and I do a lot of different stuff, but Ghostrunner is where I started. It's where I always come back. It's definitely my most favorite game speedrun I've ever done. That said, let's get started here. 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Right.
Have fun.
So a little bit of Speed Tech backstory. Right off the bat, you're gonna see me hopping around all over the place and sliding a whole bunch. This game has a lot of almost coyote time speed boosts, along with slide hopping. So, I immediately mess up the first one, but that's all right. A lot of things like this give you a huge amount of speed with the ledge, sliding and jumping. It'll get crazier after. Immediately, we're into dash. We can wall run on everything around. And we just gotta get through this first level before things get very wild. Ooh. And there's the first little quirk of this game. Sometimes the walls don't work. And hopefully it doesn't happen too much. Of course, you see me now flying. Now I am dashing into these slide jumps with the ledges, giving even bigger boost.
And for anyone that hasn't seen this game or isn't familiar with the series, it is a series now because there's at least 2 of them. How would you describe this? Is it basically first-person Ninja Gaiden, or what would you go with?
Ooh, I haven't played Ninja Gaiden, so I'm not sure. I would just describe it as, I guess, first-person, action-packed sword game? I don't know. I haven't played a lot of other games like this, or similar.
But the gist is basically like it's platforming with a ninja sword. We saw a little bit that you kind of have like a time manipulation, a dodge mechanic. And some
your dash is a bit also able to slow your time in the air, which is not super useful in the speedrun, but it's got its uses.
And for reference, getting to this part of the game took me like 45 minutes in my control, so we are schmoovin' right now.
That's fair. It's funny. When I first picked this game up, I went through the first level and immediately went, I'm speedrunning this. First time ever speedrunning anything, and I spent 4 hours that night playing the first level, and then I went and beat the game.
And it's funny how that journey gets sparked for a lot of runners. Like a lot of times it's finding a game like this where you're just like, you know what? That could be the game. I've always thought about doing this, and this feels right. This feels like the one. That's kind of how I started too.
You can call me.
Yeah, it was a random spur of the moment thing. I had only just learned what speedrunning even was, and something clicked.
74 to be precise.
All right,
So
chat's
now
got some. Oh no, go ahead.
Now we're in some Cyber Void, so this takes away your dash, unfortunately, and it's a little funny, but overall they're okay, but the most disliked part of this game. What has chat got?
Oh, I was gonna say chat's got a couple of different descriptions. One says it's mirror edge but cyberpunk. One says it's often described as Celeste in 3D space, which I think is a really interesting description. So there's a lot of ways to think about it. It's a very unique game in the series.
I don't think I've ever heard the Celeste in 3D space before.
Yeah, the maximizing your, I guess you could call them resources, right? Like your jumps, your climbs, your dashes, like kind of the similar idea around resource management.
As she calls
Fair.
herself now. 20 years ago.
Now, I don't know if everyone caught that, but I turned around on that jump pad so that I could tap back button, which gives a little bit of extra speed for every tap. You have to do it in rhythm, and it's extremely difficult to get any real use out of it. We'll hopefully see a really good use in the next level, but with it, you can even clear that entire area. On to the third level. One of the earliest and of the hard levels in this game, for speedrunning specifically. Longest level, one of the longer levels, and it has probably the hardest, what we call S-tapping trick at the end of it, which can sometimes make or break a run.
How can you assist me?
In combat, I'm afraid I can't. Cybervoid Remnant is the only medium I can interact with. I will be able to help you with...
I guess I forgot to mention, you can dash on the ground and then you get one dash in the air. However, that's not always true depending on what you land on, because the game is quirky.
Please. Can anybody hear me? Anybody?
This is...
Oh yeah, I guess there's also B-hops, kind of, in a way, where you can almost lose no speed if you do it really well.
How? We've been rebuilding you for months. We tried
And there's some more tech there. If you slide off a ledge and hold the slide in the air, you can use your ground dashes in the air. If you really abuse that mechanic with another trick, you can actually fly. It is, however, very slow in real time, and is only used in the level speedruns of this game. Even then, it was so controversial, it split categories.
Now we see you going through all the enemies here. Is that a mandatory piece for progression, or is there a reason you're going after them?
this place again.
Most of the time, any enemies I kill is because you cannot get through the next door without killing them.
What do I do?
There is also a couple ones that you kill just for safety, because they're in your way.
You'll just have to focus on finding the right
But most of the time, anything I hit is mandatory.
Excellent.
But of course, we're in our Cyber Void.
Sometimes you.
This is where we get our first power-up, or upgrade, or ability, whatever you want to call it.
Aim at.
Blink.
Once more.
Basically a dash with your blade that can go through more than one enemy at once.
Enemies won't line up for you. Splendid.
That was a really well done tutorial. I know it took 5 seconds, but I feel like I know exactly how it works now.
Is it not?
Yeah, it is actually quite good. Now for another trick, we open up that menu in the Cyber Void so that it's then active while we're jumping through this area. It's helping us skip the tutorial prompts that take quite a while to get through. And we can immediately put in our Tetris pieces. Little upgrades that change a little bit of how we play. Oh, I fell. Unfortunate.
That reset is super generous.
There are a lot of generous ones, but it just depends on where you are. Some of them are evil, I would say. But the ways you die to those ones are...
You've got some love in chat. A lot of people are rooting you on.
Yeah, some of the Ghostrunner community coming out. It's very good to see them. Alright, time for the biggest S-tap trick in the run.
During Mara's coup, many of the facilities were damaged. Things have been in slow decline.
Oh, shoot. Very close. I needed a little more confidence in it, but it's a hard trick and I've been having trouble with it. So now just do it the safe way. Here's one of the really rough checkpoints. That loses about 20 to 30 seconds when you die here.
On the bright side, we got some bangers of techno and whatever else going on in the OST.
This game's music is phenomenal. Oh no, that's unfortunate too. Just slightly late on the grapple. Okay. There we are. That was unfortunately a rough climb, but that's alright. And we're backing out of there to skip the elevator going all the way up, which is generally faster than waiting in real time, though it is much faster with the game time.
And which do you normally measure runs
with? The yeah.
Jack, can you hear me?
The timing is funny in this game.
Right. You're right. You wouldn't know. It's a code name we used for you during the repairs. Diego said you were all jacked up when he found you and it stuck. Do you mind if I call you that?
No.
I'm just listening to the voiceover, like the lore around why you're named Jack. It's because you were all jacked up.
Yeah. Silly little name, but it stuck.
Atmachip, the standard neural implant. You must have heard of them. Basically,
I figured it might have been because of Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. He's named Jack, or nicknamed Jack the Ripper, but maybe it's like a subtle nod.
Another game I haven't played.
We gotta get you on the backlog, right?
My backlog is massive.
No. To get through the base, and much has changed since you've been gone. These factories, everything they produce goes straight up to surface.
I am getting kind of like Timefall 2 vibes too with the whole factory setting. I know there's a famous factory level in that game. I gotta stop referencing other games though.
It's funny. The crossover between Titanfall 2 and Ghostrunner is actually pretty large.
Is it?
Yes, one of our old top runners, Bladen, moved over to Titanfall 2 basically entirely, I think. Plus, Brian Otto, of course, was doing Ghostrunner right at the start. He quit because the game is just evil. The quirks in it is some people's nightmare. Let's go with that.
And if I remember correctly, I know Ghostrunner 2 did this. I don't know if Ghostrunner 1 did, but I know that there was like an active challenge on speedrun.com for the leaderboard at one point.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, Ghostrunner, the first one is older than that, so it didn't get that, but Ghostrunner 2 did, and it was a lot of fun. Difficult, but Ghostrunner 2 fortunately doesn't have the staying power of 1.
Often a sequel problem. Sequelitis.
Yeah, it's a good game, but this one is everything.
I'm just gonna take a moment to appreciate, like, we're just here having, a little chat while you're doing something at like the speed of light and just chopping up people and whatnot. Like, my brain can barely even comprehend what I'm saying. And you're just like, yeah, Ghostrunner 2 is okay, but
it is strange. This game, I don't know if I'm one of you or not, but I used to type in chat and play this game at the same time. It's funny. It's only one of my hands really needs to move much. The other one just does the mouse work, so.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're not actually using the mouse all that much.
No, just the little turns and everything, and the clicks. That's it. That's all the mouse is used for.
I would have figured it would be much more involved in terms of like directional movement and stuff, but you're using mostly WASD.
Yep. I am slightly out of the norm for that. I do not have custom bindings for this game. Most people change their binds a lot. I run shift and as dash and control as crouch, the defaults, which is very stressful on the pinky finger.
Do you ever have to hit like pinky exercises, or you go to the gym for the pinky? Like, do you work on that?
After the other day of practice, 4 hours straight, I wish I had kept playing the game more, because my hand was not good for another day or two. It needed some time.
Oh, we got some light puzzle elements here.
Yeah, this is one of the few puzzles, and that solution is really annoying, because if you screw it up, it takes way too long to fix it. It's better just to restart the entire Cyber Void instead of trying to fix it manually. You just get lost.
And so what's going on with the Tetris pieces there? I assume those are, ability or cooldowns or something, upgrades of some sort.
So right now, what I have on is 1 extra dash, faster dash cooldown, and Cyberlink, what's the word? That little slow time thing I just got, one of the upgrades lengthens the duration. Before I had projectile deflection on, which allowed me to hit bullets back at the enemies. That one's got some niche uses. For the most part, we rock dash upgrades and some upgrades to our second ability, which we'll get soon here.
Here's some mouse work for you.
Yeah, just a little bit. Most people actually use their their keyboard for those. I use the mouse. I am a strange runner.
And are any of these puzzles, are they all set the same every run, or is there any sort of element?
Every puzzle is the exact same no matter what. Oh, I just got Shield Guy to do a little spin there because he didn't know what to do. This poor AI.
Huge shield.
Yeah, unfortunately that shield is one of the major problems in this game because it causes a complete soft lock of a level if you bounce off of it and fall into a void. You have to restart the entire level. It's a nightmare.
I would think that would happen, just casually, like you dash at it and you just bounce off. Like, that's what the shield's there to do, right? So I feel like that would happen quite a lot.
Yeah, I believe it's patched now, but in this patch, it is bad. There is most of the time ways to avoid it, usually by not directly killing a lot of the enemies or killing them before the shield's even able to push you. But there is one, specifically I mention it because this level was the most notorious for it happening to, right near the end of the main part of this level. Doesn't happen much anymore to me, but it was very problematic.
I'll try to mess with their transmission. Use them a lot.
You can do that.
I'm no computer genius, but their system begs to be hacked. Besides, Atma makes it easy.
Neural implants.
Yeah, everyone had them before the coup.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They're not mandatory anymore, but most people have them. Especially people with limits.
Little stuff, but that's alright.
This is also starting to feel, now that you have some upgrades, more and more like the Matrix. Like, you just kind of like bullet dodge that kind of cylinder with plasma or whatever on it.
Yeah, there's some of that. It's not a super prevalent thing, but sometimes you just need to slow it down so you can save yourself. Alright, here's the room with the worst part. So because I used the blink on that last enemy, it stops it from happening, but it used to be that you would go after that enemy just regularly, and like a third of the time you just bounce off his shield and get soft locked. It was a nightmare scenario. Alright, and we're into another Cyber Void. This Cyber Void is one of the most, I don't know if it's a complex, but it has some of the best tricks in it that I can't even do all of them yet.
Hurry up.
This place is impossible to navigate.
Good.
I mean, that's exciting though, when a game has like so much depth that there's always something new to learn and perfect, like a reason to keep you coming back. Like, a lot of games are, okay, I've done everything and now I'm just grinding down, 5 seconds at a time. It's cool to think that there's just so much tech in this game. Like, you've obviously been running it at quite a high level for quite a while, and there's still things that you're picking up.
Yeah, I have taken a lot of hiatuses from the game, but it does get to a point where there's no longer no skips, and it's just play even better than you've ever played, which can be difficult, but it's also really nice to think that you get a time, it's not going to be devastated by some new glitch, new skip that's found. It'll get grinded down by someone else's hard work. I think that's almost refreshing in a different sense.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things. Like, if people ask, like, oh, if someone takes your record, do you get mad about it? It's like, no, I know how much work it took to get a record, and so if somebody takes that record, it's just like, congratulations, I know how hard you worked on that.
Yeah, this game definitely, the record has been pretty stagnant for a while, but it's very hard to get into the 34s. Whereas I sit only around a 37 currently. Working on it, but it is a lot of effort and very time consuming, I would say. Things snowballs. Time for one of people's favorite levels in the game. Run Up. It has a lot of just flashy little rooms and areas to get through, and it just never stops.
I don't really know. Only the keys use the elevators nowadays, mostly to send resources up or bring reinforcements down. Civilians aren't allowed anywhere near, unless they're being escorted to the city.
Oh yeah, another tech I forgot to mention so far. With 2 dashes, you can dash on the ground twice in a slide, giving you exponentially increased speed compared to a 1. Lets you do a lot of nifty things. I nearly died to that robot, that would suck.
There's something coming.
But instead, you killed it in slow motion, but the place is cool.
There we are. That was a very good run-up, holy. And now time for everyone's favorite boss. Tom. Oh, Tom. The nightmare that may or may not happen. We shall see. I'm not sure if you're aware, but this level has one of the most unknown reasons it crashes ever. It is ridiculous sometimes. But randomly here, most of the time, it's fine. That one time it'll crash, 30 seconds gone. Oh, right. That's what we get for skipping phase 2 of this boss, but...
Are we out of the woods on
I
that?
hope you know what you're doing.
The core is now exposed. You'll be able to shoot.
There we are. Decent Tom. Decent Tom.
As expected, it was no match.
We're past the first half of the game.
Hey, halfway already.
Now for some more upgrade changes. That blue upgrade there increases the range of Tempest, our best ability in the game outright. It used to be even better, but unfortunately, a patch they did made it so that it no longer worked through walls.
How dare they? Don't they know? We need to go through the walls.
Unfortunately, in that patch, they also introduced a skip at the end of the game that is not in previous patches, so we have to run this patch.
The patchers give, and the patchers take it away.
It's a fun, almost one-time trick. Land on a platform, make it turn, launch yourself with its speed. It's another level done. Alright, now we're on to the hard stuff.
So it seems like in addition to the resource management, momentum management and maintenance is kind of a big key too. Like, I imagine if you touch the ground or you do the wrong thing, suddenly you're going half the speed, and obviously you don't want to be doing that.
There is a lot of momentum preservation that needs to be done sometimes, especially in Cybervoids. There are ways to make it so that you can cross gaps you wouldn't think would be possible with just a couple ways of sliding, along with just how the movement is actually stored in the game is kind of strange, I would say. Because if you've done a slide jump into an edge boost, the next time you do one, closer to that. You will go even further than the last one. Almost like you're keeping extra momentum from what you should. Like your base speed has been increased. It's a strange interaction, but it allows for some very cool little boosts in some of the levels.
I've been trying to make it happen for a year.
I should also mention this is the most hated level in the game outright. Unfortunately, it's also my favorite level.
Hey, if you can take somebody else's weakness and turn it into a strength, that's a good thing. If you want to be working on the hardest level and it's your favorite level, then more power to you. That's just
I never said it was the hardest level.
Oh, okay. It's just one people don't like.
Yeah, you'll see why in 5 seconds, give or take. The worst cyber void in the game. Rotating puzzle room that you must jump around.
Oh, wow.
There's also a fast cycle that everyone at the top pretty much does that saves like 7 seconds.
As a military contract and ended up being
That's not great. Oh, that's very bad. Why am I mantling? Another fun quirk. You can mantle everything in this game, and it is a nightmare.
associates. Strange.
Decent echoes. It's okay.
Okay.
It wasn't amazing.
Dude, my brain actually hurts right now.
Oh, this is nothing. This is not really that much yet.
Yet? But there's more to come.
A little bit.
You heard it here first, Twitch chat. There's more to come. Dude, the music. There's just like subtle beat underneath all of this.
It's speeding up, heading towards the tower's core. It's getting away. At this rate, it will reach the core before you can intercept.
Find me a shortcut.
Working on it.
So what is all of this machinery, you know, in the world of the game? What is it actually doing? Like, it seems like it's placed there mainly for gameplay purposes, but is there any lore? Are they manufacturing super soldiers or building robots, or like what's kind of going on right now?
So this area, I'm not as sure on what it's used for, other than cargo, what is train. But in a lot of the earlier levels, a lot of these stuff was actually life support systems,
Okay.
along with factories and all the other stuff. It's very, I'd say, dystopian is the right word for it. So a lot of just work and maybe some housing, maybe some amenities, not really. A lot of suffering. All right.
Chat's saying humanity's living in a massive tower.
Yes, it is just a massive tower. Boss 2. You're gonna love this.
Granted.
Bye now. Don't care.
Nope. I assume this is not intentional gameplay.
No, but they did leave it in.
So what does that fight look like if you didn't skip it? Because I'm curious, like how the two, you know, cyber ninjas fight each other.
Parry, 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 stab. Parry, 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 stab. Parry, 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 stab.
Sounds about right.
Getting close
That's
to the core. Security is getting much tighter. There are sentry guns ahead.
getting a little Sekiro with it.
You can't hack them.
Yeah, and the parries are a little awkward sometimes, but overall they work pretty well.
What about my spectral field?
The core is protected by.
When you do that, does the boss like try to chase you down? Like if you turned around, is
No,
the
the
boss
boss
at
is
the ledge?
not programmed to go anywhere but bounce around the arena.
Okay.
Boss will chase you if you stay in the arena, but once you leave it, boss doesn't care and will just throw its upgrade at you, which we skipped and will not be getting it at all in this run.
You're the last guy.
Unfortunate. That's really unlucky.
I'm the last climber.
Got hit with a stray bullet.
Master killed our people. We both chose to fight.
I like to think the boss is like, hey, I came all the way down here and you just run away.
I see one of my acquaintances in Ghostrunner's speedrun community wanted me to do a certain trick called Hell Bounce. You can hit hell in a weird way that just launches you to the end of the level, it is extremely random and very difficult and not worth it to save like maybe 7 seconds for a immediate run kill. Very funny trick though.
I mean, it sounds impressive.
Yes, that was sick.
Right now you're traversing the exclusion zone. No civilians are allowed beyond here. There are only rumors about the Keymaster's vast laboratory.
I like how they just said no civilians allowed beyond here, and I'm like, were they allowed in the other areas?
I mean, when it wasn't locked down because we were there.
No.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
Out of the tower. Probably to watch them die. Probably to watch them die.
People were desperate. They have no hope.
I've received a distress signal on a frequency only used by the climbers. I have to check it out.
It's a trap.
What if it's not? If there's somebody out there that needs my help, I can't ignore them. I won't let you fight our war.
And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but if anyone is interested in Summer Games Done Quick, which is coming up in the pretty near future, it will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th to 13th, and you can register to attend the event by May 26th, so use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more information on that event, how you can participate, how you can register, how you can join hotels. It's going to be awesome. It is every year, so make sure you dig into those details.
Culture is forever lost. Mara didn't care about such things. The only sign.
Alright, now time for the level I am the worst at.
She had no
I got faith.
idea how to
You're killing it so far.
While everything fell apart, she hid away in her laboratory.
Was that like a momentum boost?
While everything
It's a way to skip this door because it decides to stay open weirdly. And it's very inconsistent for me most of the time. It takes a couple tries, but it saves about 30 seconds from going the intended way, so it's worth it.
that's unexpected.
Oh yeah, and here's some guys that like running at you and exploding. Fun fact, they are voiced by a pug.
Really?
Yes, that is actual truth. One of the game devs' pugs is their voice.
Alright, now I'm listening for it. I like how you're going so fast, the voiceover just keeps repeating. Because it's not getting to finish before you hit the next room or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of them canceled.
That is nonsense. Entirely artificial respiratory.
Oh, unfortunate. Uh-oh. There we are. That was being really mean to me. Oh, it's still being mean. That's funny. There we go.
What about me?
What about you?
What were my unique abilities?
Yeah, I like how the AI was like, what about you?
Who would have thought you were the one destined to become so very special?
Oh man, the architect is something else. He's an interesting character.
You remember the atmosphere?
I mean, if you
Still,
call him the architect, it's definitely got to be a Matrix thing, right?
There's a way to
Do you remember seeing that face in the second level?
deep into the neural.
Right at the start of it, basically?
You learned how
Yeah.
That is the architect. He is
That's what
a
you call it.
not cybernetic. He's a cybervoid construct. Basically, he is the master of these spaces when he is put together. He used to be a person. The person died, the machine of his brain stayed.
Now to
It's a very poor description of it, but
center.
basically it's a copy
Speak to you
of the original creator of the tower.
wisely. Not every
And in traditional lore fashion, are we going to find out when you put them back together that maybe you shouldn't have?
I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
You get to find. You would know, but you'll get to find out at the end if you don't already know what happens.
you did it to everyone.
It's a tool.
We may
He
have
also
seen
thinks of,
the movies
people as
before.
tools. He thinks of people as tools as well, which doesn't help.
had to defend our future, and we did. The traitors are dead, but there's a force still walk among us. If we don't want to lose our dream, we must act on it.
I love how you just have like a force push.
We won't wait. The time has come.
It is a lot of fun.
We won't wait any longer.
Unfortunate.
The time has come. The time
Sorry.
has come. We won't wait any longer. The key is
And these are the worst enemy in the game. Shifters. They love just moving to any random place, predetermined actually, at a random point,
we'll all have stepped outside.
and it's infuriating sometimes. Oh, crud.
Everyone into abominations. Place has their body.
Also, you cannot block their attacks with a parry or anything. You can't block bullets from them, which makes them just a little bit harder.
It looked like based on that screen, we might only have a couple levels left.
You are correct. We are getting closer and closer. This is the third last level. For this, only 2 more.
The world's top scientists.
Oh.
And I do mean the world.
Yeah, I had to look up the how long to beat. This game is normally over 7 hours.
Many
Yeah, 7 hours is a joke for this. Oh, unfortunate. Made a mistake there.
serve their expertise.
Doesn't want me to. Come on, let me do it. I know you worked. Alright, we're doing it the regular way.
So what was killing you there?
Being just slightly too close to the explodey guys. They decide to just immediately blow up when they really shouldn't be able to. They have a really odd
Monsters.
explosion radius, I would say.
You killed a lot of people on your way.
Makes it difficult in some areas. That's why we had to take specific pathing in tunnels in the last level, so that they could not kill us. We could just barely scoot around their activation range.
I mean, that is what happens when you put a pug in a robot.
It explodes.
Well, I mean, it does funny things, but yes, maybe also explodes.
That poor pug.
Of humanity's redemption. Instrument, something. Their master, like people they hold dear.
I like how you have a sword and you're just like, nah, I'm just gonna punch the air, like I'm good.
Yeah, a lot of the enemies are much easier to just outright ignore with your abilities. Ooh, that was close.
nothing must go to waste. Even the martyrs of progress.
And we haven't
Our only
talked
use
about,
of a different ability. Mind control.
we haven't talked about health or anything. It seems like, and if my
One
memory
hit,
serves,
one
everything
death.
is yep.
Deformation is not the worst of Mars.
Second game changes that just slightly. That's because it gives you a shield sometimes, depending on what you've done. This game, just anything touches you, you die.
Yeah, so basically every level is do it perfect or do it again.
Yeah, pretty much. The funniest thing is, this game is easier to play by speedrunning it outright. It is just easier. Doing it regularly is way harder.
Oh, I know you can hear me.
Unfortunate, didn't get the hate.
You are not Adam. You're an abomination that
Normally this level likes making fake zip lines. We ignore them. Just jump around.
flawed as he was.
And then we do another little S-tap trick. Just bounce across the entire room.
No empathy.
Whew. Alright. Time for the final boss.
Ooh, the summit. Wait, the final boss is one extra level though, so does that
No,
mean
no, this is the final boss.
Supervised
Okay.
first Sun Sarah Corporation, and then Dharma Tower.
And
I'm trying.
Office was
as people
Okay,
may
so-
have caught there, I changed out an upgrade to make the
so to speak.
range size of my blink slightly larger. This is for skip in this level.
Someone in
fighting the
chat
boss.
says they found a video of the pug, so you know there is stuff out there.
Do you
You wanna go
even know
digging?
what drives you, puppet?
Oh, there's so many fun little things with this game. It does even put in some stuff from when the demo first was out. Some little walls and little Easter eggs for people that found the out of bounds. It's quite funny.
Threat to everything I've built.
And this is Mara. She's a character.
Totally not Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, I didn't know Doc Ock was in this game.
I'm trying to count the number of hands. I assume it's 8, but maybe not.
I think it's 6.
Oh.
It's 6.
Is that Septopus? Or is that 7?
Septa would be 7.
Sectopus? I don't know. My Latin's rusty. I'm trying.
I'm not sure how you would pronounce the ending of it necessarily. It's strange. 6 is always a weird one.
Somebody in chat's gonna have it for us. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know
Chat
exactly
always holds it.
what it starts with. I just don't know how the middle of the word would go. All right, and this boss is nearly done. I know you see 2 health bars there left, but Hexa. Interesting. All right, time for the skip. Blink. Hit and immediately hit the menu and back out of the level. You have... Oh! I screwed it up.
No.
That's a first. I have never screwed it up that bad.
Supervised first.
Well, as you know, here on Hotfix,
And then
there's a certain tradition. You didn't quite say the phrase as determined, but you know, there is a tradition here of first things happening.
here at my private workshop.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe this.
You should code.
Oh man, that is something that
Do you even know?
doesn't normally get screwed up, but that's a 2-minute time loss. I was done the freaking low. Oh, that's so funny. Oh.
It's okay. We were too busy trying to remember our how to count in in different languages.
Yeah, I guess I menued just slightly too early, or I was too far away. One of the two. Because normally if you're late, you'd know because you wouldn't be able to open the menu. If you're early, I should have noticed probably that I was early and hadn't hit her. But whatever, you guys get to see me beat this lady again. Mostly. What a treat. Watching Amara get beaten down a second time. Ah yes, great boss fight. That's words someone may use for this in an alternate world.
So what is the intended boss design here? Is it kind of seems like jump around, dodge the tentacles, and then slash when you get a chance?
Yep, it's play a game of dodge, 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 and smack. Just once she decides, hey, let's stick our tentacle into this power box. That's about it. There's no real... You just gotta pay attention and make sure you don't get smoked by a tentacle. That's about it. And hit those as quick as you can. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, don't be mean to me this time. And I didn't hit escape soon enough, so now we get to watch this. And let's do a lovely noise.
I was gonna say, what is this sound?
Yeah, it's just a little bugged. At the very least, you don't have to watch the whole final cutscene. Because once this part ends, we can just hit escape and back out of the level, and she's done. Okay, now for the true final level. And I wonder who the monster is. Who could have guessed? Architect. He's trying to take our body.
Of course he is.
Yep. Because we put all those cybervoids together, he is strong enough to try to take control of us. We're just not going to let him though. He may be a computer, but that was strange. I am not sure what just happened there. Come on, let me up. So, normally you're just supposed to get kind of teleported here by some weird thing with how the platforms are spawned in. There's only a certain number of them and whatnot. So you just kind of get stuck on them. But yeah, so we're just gonna play stabby stabby with a computer, and we're gonna win! Eventually. Also, welcome to Balls. Balls is not fun. Balls is very random and very mean.
We've gone full bullet hell over here.
Yeah, doing this part fast is annoying and can kill some amazing runs. Oh, also, invisible grapples. They exist because they added hardcore mode and did not do it very well to start with. That was an instant teleport. That was nice. More balls, in tunnels, lots of fun.
Well, if anyone is still here from the Link to the Past run where we were counting the blue balls, we can now count red balls.
There's a lot of them, and they're infinite.
Well,
by that,
we don't have to count them.
By that, they're a repeating pattern, and there's actually only a set number. And here we go. The architect is dead. Well, in a second. There we go. It's the end of the run.
Oh, that's time?
That's time.
GG's. I like how the architect is just like a guy in the suit.
He's just a guy in this space. Unfortunately, being a man, swords are very effective against him.
Even in cyberspace. Well, thank you so much for showcasing that. While we watch whatever cutscene is coming up here, why don't you tell the good people where they can learn more about you, where they can find you, your content, where you might be active, anything else you want them to know.
So I am Sindorian on Twitch and YouTube. I don't have much else in the way of social media. Primarily, everything I do is speedruns or just random games that I decide to play. Not a lot of scripted stuff, just doing what I do as well as I can. And there's a lot of different games on there. I think I'm getting near 100 different games now for speedrunning as well. So a lot of that stuff is just what I do. If you're interested in many different kinds of speedruns, check me out.
Definitely be sure to do that, chat. But that is, with that run, the end of Perilous Paths for this week. But don't go anywhere. Hotfix is not done yet. We do still have Anarchy with Hidden Heroes coming up after the break. But I do want to take a second to thank everyone who's been on the show today. That would be our runner, Yrock, his commentator, Secretly a Sliver, got it right this time, and Bitey, and of course, Sindorian, who you just saw. Now, I'll give a little preview. We do have with Hidden Heroes a certain famous blue character, Sonic, coming up. And Perilous Paths in 2 weeks is going to have, hopefully, if everything works out, a special featuring another famous blue character. I'll let chat try to guess who that might be. But without further ado, we're going to send it to a quick break, and then we're going to toss it over to Hidden Heroes with Anarchy. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss all this amazing Sonic action. But take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.